I had a terrible back for a large part of my life. And fast forward to today, when I ask anybody who I train with, who has seen me shirtless, if I ask them what is the strongest part of my body, or what is the most appealing part of my body, and it's either back or it's biceps. But most of the time, it's the back. Biceps also are pretty good, but back. But first years when I was training, my back was absolutely shit. And I'll just put up some pictures of how terrible my back was. And when I started training, you can actually see how little muscle I had when I was trying to build muscle. It was just terrible. And if you take a closer look now at what my back looks like now, you can literally see the separation of how much muscle there is, and even the rear delts are popping a little bit. And there are certain things that I have done that I think will make a big difference in your back journey, in getting a superhero type back. Because if you see this picture, you can't help but think like, damn, if anybody sees me in my room just shirtless that way, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild, right? So what are the things that I have done that have enabled me to build my back to that standard? Right now, I took around 2 to 3 years to get my back to this thing, but it's because I've made multiple mistakes on the way that got me into, and then I realized, okay, like these things work, these things don't work. And when I started implementing the things that do actually work, then I saw like massive growth. But of course, like I did mess up a few times, and then I learned from it, and then I think, but when you watch this video, you will just know about the things that I messed up and the things that will get you the growth. And once you know the things I messed up, you won't repeat it. Why? Because you have the knowledge to not repeat it. You have the enough intellect to know that, okay, if I repeat it, I will take the same amount of time. But one thing that I need to emphasize is that you do not expect fast results. It is no point expecting something to come fast, because then it does not have enough value. It is different from building your back and taking a lot of time to finally understand, okay, after 2 years, you build a solid back. Instead of just 1 month, you just get an insanely big back, or someone just gets you the back. You do not understand the value of training, because training builds so much more than just your back. It builds your mindset. And now let me tell you the exercises that help me build my back. The first one, the most important one in my opinion, is lat pull downs. Because those of you who are starting, you cannot do a pull up, most of you, right? For those of you who do have strength, right, I encourage you to start weighted pull-ups. Weighted pull-ups are good, but you should also focus on lat pull-downs that I mentioned. Because with weighted pull-ups, your form will fuck up a lot of times, especially because I know many of you are going to ego lift even if I tell you not to. It's instinctive to just like go against and like push more, push harder. But the thing is, your form will be fucking shit, right? Now, weighted pull-ups are important, of course, but if you just train your lats, right, and you just go vertical pull, you will not have that width in your back. You might have like the V taper, right, but you just will not have the thickness, if I want to say thickness. Like your back should be thick, right? And this is where I have messed up, because many of the times I have just done the weighted pull-ups one and just focused on the V taper. But then later I realized that, hey, I have to train my mid back, my rhomboids, my trapezius, my middle trapezius fibers, and even my lower back, right? Lower back we'll get to in a moment, but these two, your middle back, when you are just sitting like this down, you're focusing on your laptop, right? Is your posture like that? Or is it like that? Are you like focused? Is your posture like this? Is that a yes or no? If that is a no, then you 100% need to that is a no, then you 100% need to focus on rowing a shit ton of weight, right? But not only just rowing a lot of weight, you have to do it a lot of times, a lot of reps, especially if you have a weak posture. This is basically how I fixed my bad posture. It's just that I did a shit ton of these. Keep the thing, we do not go too much, right? I found it like just a little bit, just cranking out as many reps as possible. Good form, good control, stretching it out, and heavy ass weight, right? I don't care what faces you make, as long as you make faces, right? You really need to push yourselves for this workout. Really feel your back muscles contracting and squeezing, because that will make the difference, and that will ensure that you grow, that your muscle fibers hurt, and that it gets repaired over the next few weeks and it comes back stronger. That's what matters. Now, your lower back is also important, right? Because if you keep doing rows, right, there will be an enormous strain on your lower back, especially if you're like doing it properly and using a little heavy weight for yourself, which even I tend to do. But I have a strong lower back, so it doesn't hurt as much. It hurts a little bit sometimes, but it's fine. It's not like I can't, it doesn't hurt now. It just hurts while I'm training, just for a little bit, and that's a normal pain amount. But if it's hurting too much, that's a sign that you should train your lower back. Actually, no, scrap that. Train your lower back now itself. But how exactly should you train your lower back? Now I got a beautiful exercise for you. It's called a kettlebell swing. So kettlebell swing is very interesting because you want to take the weight, the kettlebell, and like put it right under your balls, right, and then swing it back and then push it forward, right. And when you do this, right, you push it forward. When it's coming back down, you squat a little bit. And then push it back up again, right? So search kettlebell swing, and this is extremely important because this not only trains your abs, it not only trains your spinal erectors, which are very important postural muscles. And this is also one of the exercises that help me have a strong posture. Now if you see, it doesn't hurt to like sit like this, right? Before, if I were to try to sit like this, I know for a long period of time I wouldn't be able to do it. But this is so comfortable for me right now. Even when I walk, it's powerful, right? Because I've implemented these techniques. Kettlebell swing will also get you tired a little bit, right? So build up, take that slow, and usually I like to do it at the end of a workout, right? It also teaches you coordination as well, but the most important is it trains that lower back, and very good at your spinal erectors, right? Keep the weight low, learn how to do it first, and then start doing it. Now, I want to make something very clear, right? I've eaten extremely, if not very healthy, for most of these 2 years, right? Sure, there are periods of time where like I've eaten junk food, but that would probably last for a week. But I have eaten high protein all the time. You will not get big if you do not eat foods that are high in protein, high in fat. Eggs are extremely good. Red meat is extremely good. Those two things are extremely good, as well as chicken. Sorry, these three are the big dinosaurs basically, right? So you follow that and you will get a big back. Another thing is, big back. Another thing is scapula. So your scapula is very important. Take care of it. How do you take care of it? And even your shoulders. Do this exercise called dead hangs. Dead hangs is basically where you just hang on the bar, right? Relax a little bit. Do not go into an active hang. Just be in a passive hang. Don't flex any muscles. Just focus on your grip, right? And you have to increase your grip endurance as well as your grip strength, because if you're doing weighted pull-ups, you want to ensure that your grip doesn't become the limiting factor. Because if your grip becomes a limiting factor, then your back is not exhausted, right? You want to ensure that your back is exhausted. One last thing is that you absolutely should use partial reps. Now, I don't know who will tell you, the science-based lifters, saying that, oh, you should not do this, there's no benefits of partial reps. But partial reps feel fucking amazing, right? They feel good. Like, you really yank all of your strength from your back. Like, literally, you can feel like, oh, it's just so juice, right? You will love the feeling once you get used to it, right? At first it's difficult, but then when you train for difficulty, right, when your mind wants to hurt a little bit, and like really contract all your muscles, right, that's when partial reps is insanely good. And partial reps, mind you, gives you an insane pump as well. And the times when I've implemented it, I've really felt it in my body. Like, it really feels like my back becomes bigger every time I do it. The pump is insane. I also do it for my biceps, the partial reps, and I can tell you, the next day when I look at them, they feel bigger, they look bigger. It is so weird, but that's how it is, and I definitely think you should get on it. You should really do partial reps and train hard, train to failure, 2 to 3 sets. Don't keep it too much. Another thing that I would recommend is farmer's walk. Farmer's walk is also good for improving your posture, but it basically trains the lower part of the trapezius, lower fibers of the trapezius, and it ensures that you keep your shoulders down, not rounded, right? Because the thing is, even if you do have a good back, right? Let's say a person is looking from you from behind. Do you think he will notice your back first, or do you think he will notice your posture? Exactly. He will notice your posture and be like, why the hell is the guy standing like that? That looks so stupid. But if you have a good posture and you have a good back, if someone is behind you, you'll be like, damn, look at that guy's back. It's insane, right? You got to think in that terms as well. Because if you keep doing weighted pull-ups, right, and you do not focus on rows, your rhomboids will not be able to support you in this position. Your postural muscles will be weak, right? So focus on that, and all the best. Big back.